Wanderies finally gets a break on the regional circuit, locking down a first place finish. One big 30% of you guys have not smashed the link, crap out, subscribe button, smash it so we can climb up the 100K ladder here. Welcome to the Toronto Regional Breakdown. 233 players entered into the Dual Dome here to show that Flounder was the best deck actually across the border here. I'm not surprised to see this, actually. Flounder has struggled so frickin' hard out here to get any sort of real up in today's format. And I'm actually just excited to see that we finally got the chance to see it step up. All right, like, once again, like I said, when you see just this much struggling out here from this deck, which was one of the best counters to last format, doing so well, good stuff, man. It really means a lot to the meta players. Now, of course, as you trickle on down here, you see those Sprite decks. Oh, they're there. All right, we had 3 Sprite decks. One of them ended up being a Live Twin Sprite list. One of the first ones that I've seen of its kind, actually. And, of course, Eldritch in second place here. Eldritch still continuing to hold on for its dear life here is very good. And then you see further down here that not only one Flounder list won, one locked down a fifth place here as well. So that's 2 Flounder decks that made it into Top Cut. Highest representation I've seen in Flounder out of Power of the Elements format here. And then we also had a Danger Punk Tearlament deck, aka we're gonna go Chaos Ruler Turbo, mill some good stuff. All right, trust me when I say this, ladies and gentlemen, this deck feels so good to me. Like, I think that this was the variant that I was most excited to see, because the Danger package with the Punk stuff to make Chaos Ruler facilitate all these drop effects feels really, really good once it gets going. We're going to pass on over to some deck lists now. Winning the regional was, of course, Flounder here. As you guys saw now, Flounder, I've seen some pretty interesting lists where, players will try to play Prosperity, Extrav, and Duality this format. No. I think players are kind of stepping too far away from the roots of what this deck does. Now, I do like the fact we're still playing 1 Stormwind, which is fine. We're actually double N-Pen. For some reason, I've seen some builds like last format that were taking steps back from N-Pen, just playing one of it. I'm glad to see that we're back on some capacity to these. Now, the biggest thing here that catches me up to speed here is we're finally getting to see Ultimate Slayer step up and see application in this deck, because you don't care about your extra deck in this deck all that much. Obviously it's fuel for these, so you got to kind of control things the way you play Prosperity over the extra, because if you start to try the random dumping methods of things, you're gonna just hurt yourself. So seeing Prosperity here tie in with the Ultimate Slayer so you can get the correct shots that you need with this is fine. Now keep in mind, we're only playing the 1 copy of the Troubled Sunny because of, this, which is fine. But you have Fusion, Synchro, XYZ, and you have the Link monsters all taken care of. Since you're playing Flounder, you get access to all colors of the rainbow here for support. And then you also have, of course, double Dreaming Town here. Most builds I think I've only seen playing 1, but this is really nice to see getting the chance to come back into play here. And of course, everybody's freaking favorite Harpy's Featherstorm, man. This is also the reason why 95% of the metagame gets Curve Stomp. But it is interesting to see that, Flounder really is having a hard time out here keeping up within today's metagame. So seeing that this is your build that won this event, very good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I'm actually very happy to see in terms of turnover that this is Flounder for the format. Now, there was a very, very strange Eldritch list. Oh my, interesting. This was your 2nd place Eldritch list out of this event. Now, to be completely honest with you, when I first saw this, I was like, what in the world are we doing? Because we're not maining extras. Our extras are down here in our side deck. We're just playing 34 trap cards to detour and slow down the opponent, which means our game plan is all of this right here. Now, the first interesting thing that catches me here is that Drowning Mirror Force. I mean, hey, you don't have to deploy, your Eldritch stuff. If your opponent makes a whole giant field of things, and you go to flip up like Scarlet, your opponent negates it with something, then you can flip Drowning Mirror Force and clear up the rest of what your opponent did. Or if your opponent, negated your Torrential Tribute, for example, here, you still have this. This was a very interesting tech choice in this, and I liked it. And then, of course, you also have the follow-up here on the Draco Utopian Aura. All right, there are no Solemn Judgments in the main deck, but you're packing in effectively 6 Solemn Strikes through Draco Utopian Aura here. So, and I mean, if you somehow, see one of these guys, you technically apply the second effect. You're not going to do that, per se. But, you know what? That is one extra little thing. I don't know what else I'm supposed to effectively say about this. This on paper is like, it feels very innovative and very constructed for how you need to handle the metagame. All right, and I think a lot of players are probably going to look at this and be like, oh, there's no Extrav in the main. That's fine. His game plan here is to focus on Super Poly for game 1 and do what it needs to do, and then you're going to rely on the rest of your traps in order to wrap up the rest. Thanks, Garuda. I'm really glad that you exist, man. It's such a good card in order to streamline and make the process a whole lot better. As we continue on into top 4 here, we had a Sprite, yes, our Sprite Evil Twin list for you guys. Now, the big things I want to point out here from the video were the inclusion of just the 2 Live Twin Red versus 3 of Lila. They definitely put a lot of emphasis on the fact of, blue is the best one for you to go. Because if you end up seeing, Frost, you want to have Frost down in the graveyard so that it can be the advantage tree that you need it to be. The generalized construction of the deck feels very, very solid, though. 41 cards is not a biggie. I do like the fact that they were also maining the Harpies Feather Duster. I know a lot of people will look at decks like this and be like, Feather Duster should be in the side or it shouldn't see play at all. Well, I mean, having it here in the main at least ensures that, you guessed it, ladies and gentlemen, you can out your opponent's Mystic Minds. One key point in the video was, Mystic Mind's been a troublesome card for this duelist in the past. So, kind of rounding things out so you can get around that stuff is good. And of course, just one of each of the negators, which ends up being fine. And then, Dagda package as per usual. Now, you will notice that there is a Zeus in here without like the Downerd or like the Sky Cavalry or something like that. This is just kind of if the situation arises that you're able to stack up and create a larger monster, you can do it. We also have, the Ultimate Slayer package in the side deck so we can snap our fingers, bring it in, because we're already naturally playing the Evil Twin Link 4 as it is. So, I mean, once again, when you can get to that extra little synergy here so you can do what your deck is meant to do, feels really good. But yes, full anti-fun in these 9 cards as well. Man, oh man, these decks right now that need to have these power outs in order to break these boards, it feels crazy to me just how much advantage that you are seeing built into these decks and how much struggling it is to get around today's metagame. So not too bad. Next up is Triff's list. I just wanted to kind of touch on this. Triff ended up, I think, finishing 10th place out of the Toronto Regional here. Now, Triff is a crazy duelist, man. Like, some of the crazy ideas that go through this man's head. We're playing the Adventure package. We're playing Shaddoll in here as well. And we're also playing Gale Dogger. The fact that you can technically drop this to go search for the illusion to get to this is very, very interesting. Everything about this list to me is very well thought out. I think it's very interesting just to kind of see it all come together, though, on paper. All right, and then of course, good old Scythe package with Sanctum. Yeah, you can definitely tell that you can do relatively well with any sort of Sprite variant at this point in time, because this package is the hard carry. Like, I don't know what else to really say on this, but it's the moving pieces around it that add in to the disadvantage tree for the opponent. But you see so much power and so much success with this that it really, really is good. And then the last as we had here I think that this was another finish out here for top 32 for the Sprite Evil Twin variant. So we actually ended up getting a chance to see two of these. This version's playing the Evil Twin Challenge here, which, I mean, once again, you don't see a lot of this card. You can also see we're playing the one live twin home with the one Sunny Snitch. David did mention in his profile that Sunny Snitch, while your opponent's going through like full combo, just gives you free life points. All right, like gaining 2,000 and pinging your opponent for 200. Just 4,000 life point gap effectively, depending on the full combo deck you're playing against. So very, very, very interesting outside of that. But once again, a little bit difference in terms of builds here and more things for you to test out. So that is your Toronto regional breakdown. What a ride, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button. Say as long more awesome content. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. You thought we were done with the Toronto breakdown, but a top 16 Scareclaw deck made its way out to the public after everything was filmed for that video. So I figured we'd go ahead and include this in here, because when the heck was the last time that you saw Scareclaw do something? Now, top 16 is quite an impressive feat with this deck, but they recently just got their Link 1 here, which was Lightheart, which gives you the ability to search for your field spell, which basically anytime that they want to have an archetype be successful tied into a typical field spell that ends up searching, well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They make a Link 1 for it, because that's how they make an attempt to salvage these archetypes. Not every archetype is made the same, but you know what? You love to see it. So I'm glad to see that something Scareclaw related got the chance to roll out here. And of course, it's from none other than the Ghost Reaper loser out here as well. So I don't have much else to say about this, but it is quite impressive nonetheless to see Scareclaw do something. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.